Welcome to All Things Finance in just a few minutes, and in this week's edition we will be covering the monthly budget tracker version 3. We continue to roll out these added features to help you do further analysis on your account. So if you're happy with the version 1 or version 2 tracker, simply roll over the current tab to the next month and continue to update your file. But if you are interested in the additional features, then continue to follow along. With that, let's get started on this week's updates. So this next item is one of my favorite items. It's where you're going to start to analyze your credit card charges. So previously, we've entered our credit card charge as one lump sum number, this $50. But we know that that $50 is made up of various purchases. So what I like to do is go into my credit card online account, go to transactions, switch the time frame to date range, select the date range for the time period that you're updating. In this example would be January, so I would select January 1 to January 31st and click export. Once you export, you'll have various columns. Only pull the columns that are associated with the name of the product or the service that you purchased, as well as the associated price. So what you do next is you begin to label what those amounts are. For example, if XYZ was a fast food company that I ordered food from, I would enter food. So now, I like to keep my food charges separate from my groceries. Groceries is anything you buy in a supermarket. Food is anything you buy outside of the supermarket. So if my wife and I were to order food on a Friday night, that is not groceries, that is considered food. If we go out to dinner on a Tuesday night, that is food. Now the reason I label it food is because I like to keep a budget on that number. So if you're looking to cut spending, always look to cut the spending in the food budget. So let's continue updating. So let's say, for example, ABC is groceries. We'll just type that in. And as we're typing this in, you see that the chart above is updating. If I have a subscription, I will just enter subscription. And we see that update as we go. Now, as we said before, if you have multiple accounts, then you would clearly do this analysis for each account. For now, we're just updating one account. So just to complete the example, I will just type in a few more expenses here. So now we see that we have 5 charges, $10 each, it equals $50, and our built-in check says that we're not missing anything. So you will update the credit card charge here, as well as begin doing your analysis. One thing to note, any expense category that you include here must also be included in this section of the file. This is a very important step. This is going to help you analyze your accounts from month to month and see where you can cut back on spending. If you wish to use the credit card charge analysis on version 1, simply copy-paste A67. Now, you may need to resize and there you have it. And there you have it. So the one last thing after in version 1 that you need to update is add in the check. And I would just color that red and enter the box. And there you are. So the last step is to roll over the February tab to March. Simply right click, click duplicate, change the tab name. Be sure to leave a space between the month and the year. Just as we've done on the February tab, update the beginning balance to pull from the February ending balance instead of January. And do the same for the savings account. Pull that from the ending balance on the February tab instead of January. Okay, now if all of my income and my expense items are the same, and what I see in my bank account is $17.40, I will simply update that to $17.40. I will do the same for my savings account. Hopefully the amount in my savings is $53. I will update that here. Once we see that the check is 0, we know that our total capital is being pulled in. Let's say, for example, our student loans is still at $10,000. We will leave that. Our net worth is being calculated. Our 6-month reserve is being calculated. Our 12-month projection is being calculated. So the last step is to go to the Summary tab and update the current year capital. So just as before, we will copy the February formula down to March and update the tab name. And now we see that 1,793 is being brought in from L26, 1793, so that agrees. And then we also update the current year net worth. We copy the formula down from February to March and update the tab name. We see 8207 pulling from L41, 8207. Okay, there we are. So next week we will roll out an additional version to this tracker and show you how to track your expenses from month to month on the Summary tab. So thank you for watching and see you next week.